It is an honor indeed
No.
at this point in time for me to have emerged as a candidate of my own party, Action Alliance. And then on the second hand, the invitation to honor this occasion of a leader that we saw at work in peacetime and in crisis time. But let me say in a nutshell, that for the number of years some of us were exposed, seeing his work at a close range, we know he was a school to seniors and juniors. He was a school to many elders across Nigeria and indeed African leaders. Let me start with one tiny little one. I was virtually working hard to grow mustache at that age when in 1985, and I'm referring to the services rendered helpless by the likes of General Akilu in holding the country tight. Things were difficult. Everywhere was gloomy. But resilience and sheer style of real leadership kept him to close all aspects of fears or threats or anything that will disturb the entire country from knowing the true state of the country. He kept it himself with the support of the likes of such leaders that do not like to be talked about in public. General Akilu, I beg your pardon, sir. At that time, Nigeria was on the verge of catching fire in the true sense of it. One day, there was a meeting and we were privileged to have been part of those that accompanied members of National Security Council then. When President Babangida came out, he was visibly talking to himself. This is a moment I can never forget. It has a big meaning to me
If you start this,
in the sense that
there will be no end.
when
There
he
are
came
other
out,
candidates here that I
service
myself have
chiefs
seen.
of that
If
time
you
were
stop
already
this,
outside.
You won't stop it.
But Solulokwe, indeed, he was
Because
saying,
we-
and I quote, he said, everything will sort itself by time. It was strange. That's why some of us, toddlers as we were, we had to climb that. It looked nothing to an ordinary person, but looking at the situation in Nigeria and looking at this sentence or this statement, it meant so much. I went on research even as a toddler, only to discover something that most great nations worked upon in achieving greatness. That is to say, there is no end to possibilities in the life of man, in the life of nations. That statement is an open gate of knowledge that you cannot learn nowhere. Between rhetorics and academics and realism of threats or challenges of power management are two different worlds apart. It was up until he made that statement that I got to know numerous events about many countries that rose up to have become the greatest countries on earth. And I cannot thank him enough. Second was when at a later date or years after that event, another thing happened in Nigeria. The executive convener was a small lady who liked to take car and run around the presidency then, but didn't know what was going on. The president had another serious challenge. Lives were lost. All I'm trying to say here is the fact that he faced challenges in 1990, and may also rest in peace, the former First Lady, who, from the events of that time that I do not want to go deep into, but drawing at the lesson I want to mention, is to say that the event of that time brought fear, direct, looking for lives. But then some of us were, in a way, God Almighty used in taking some risk that worked. Now, the civilians of
Sorry,
the,
you have a minute, sir. Thank you very much.
that out of numerous events that had happened during his tenureship are exactly what all of you have summarized. That's all I'm trying to say. You have summarized his legacies, and most of you are going deeper into it, and you are looking at him differently. If his legacies were to be discussed in 1993, shortly before he left office, we wouldn't have gotten these details. Here is a country full of intellectuals who, in most cases, totally robotic, seeing the left side of the person that is in power. That's all I'm trying to say. Now, today, if President Babangida is to contest 2023 election, from the summaries you have all given from the guest speaker to the panelists, to all the speakers we have heard since morning, it shows he is much more needed now in Nigeria than before.